Hello.
So fucking, I'm telling you, I think that the love is like the Deer Hunters sad boy song. Like it's their version of a sad boy.
No, hang on.
Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance.
The way you worded it before, I mean, not to say that it makes any more sense this way, but the way you worded it before is when you said that Shouting at the Rain is the Deer Hunters' Welcome to the Black Parade, which
No,
just...
I said it was the love.
No, that's what I said.
Oh, I'm sorry. The love. That's what I mean.
Yeah, Bruce said it was their sad boy anthem. I'm like, no, dude. The love is their sad boy anthem, kind of like how for emo kids it's like, or new age emo kids it's Welcome to the Black Parade. Because like every time you fucking see like one of those kids who are like, oh no, I'm still emo at heart or whatever, they're like, they hear the first G note played Welcome to the Black Parade, even though it was supposed to be an F, but the first G note's played and they're like, oh, I'm gonna put on my black clothes again and put on my eyeliner and tease my hair and everything. But like if we're talking about like the way the fans react to the song legitimately instead of trying to be a joke, like yeah, they hear Welcome to the Black Parade and they start chanting along like soulfully to the song. It's like the Bohemian Rhapsody for like the mall emo kids. But then you have like the love, where I can guarantee you if Casey plays those first few chords at a show and he starts singing, I was 22, and he goes through that, and the entire crowd's going to sing along. It's going to happen.
Well, I don't know about that specifically, just because I don't think Migrant has as wide of a claim amongst the fans, but I don't even think that the kind of loose connection of the love being kind of an emo-ish anthem, just like Welcome to the Black Parade is even because I don't think the love is a very emo song at all.
I think you're very wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's like the opposite. Like it is a
no, man.
It is definitely a song like it's almost an anti-emo song in the sense that it's saying that as bad as things seem in the moment and how it feels like you can't get any lower, it's not only are you going to experience another moment like that again, meaning that the previous one wasn't the worst thing ever, but you're going to be okay. Like,
yeah, and you got people around
that's
you.
That's a very, very positive message.
That's what Welcome to the Black Parade means. If you're dead and gone, believe me, your memory will carry on.
I don't think that's the same type of optimism as the love.
Yeah.
No. All right. So, Welcome to the Black Parade is an album about a guy who's diagnosed with cancer at like a very young age and has 2 weeks left to live. And the first half of the album is him reflecting upon his life experiences. And when he gets to Welcome to the Black Parade, that's like when he starts like dying and the symbol of death comes in and brings him over to the underworld. And what happens after that is he experiences the underworld before coming back to life or not. It's your kind of choice. But like, it's basically him saying that he's not going to leave no impact going on whatsoever. It's going to be more that like people will remember him, remember the good things that he did, remember he's not a complete kind of asshole. Where at the love, it's more kind of like self-imposed hate and like optimism. But like Welcome to the Black Parade is more kind of given from the environment, but they still deliver a similar message of like, things are shit right now, it's going to get better.
I think A Beginning would be closer to that theme.
But A Beginning isn't going to be chanted at a show when after heard the first few notes.
Well, we will see it. I'm not going to say that. Wait, this wouldn't come out until after the show. We're going to see about that because it's going to be on the tour. So,
is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
I didn't see it on night one. Oh, like if it is, I was kind of speaking of the tour. Did you guys see the set lists?
I've only seen it in bits and pieces. Like I've probably only had like half of it spoiled.
Can I talk about how I'm sad about what songs aren't on it?
No,
okay.
not for my sake.
All right, never mind. But
I want to enjoy it.
I know that I'm gonna cry like a little bitch when A Beginning comes on because that is not only my favorite Deer Hunter song. That's like the song I want played at my funeral. Like that song means so much to me that I want it to be like
wasted.
I might. Well, I mean, I'll probably be drunk at the shows anyway, but. I know for a fact I'm gonna cry at a beginning, and I'm gonna be surrounded by a bunch of people who barely know me, and it's gonna completely tank any ounce of coolness that anyone mistakenly thought that I had.
Yo, I've never cried to a song.
Neither have I. That's but I know it's gonna happen.
like I can't think about a song that got me like emotional to the point where I'm going to be like, wow, I'm sad right now. It's going to make me cry. I think the love, I felt the emotion. Like I can feel the emotion in these songs. Like I can feel what they're trying to convey, but I don't get sad. I think the closest I ever came to crying was when I heard Chapter 7 or Nocturne by Sufferer.
I mean, that whole album is rife for crying,
But dude, Chapter 7, that song is depressing. It starts off with like the pouring rain and then like the finger picked acoustic guitar and like the melodies, like the vocal melodies coming in and harmonies.
yeah, that's on my sad boy playlist.
Oh my god, that song, like I listen to it and just puts me in a fucking funk.
Actually, I take it. I have cried to not only one Deer Hunter song. I think I've only ever cried to one song like ever, and it was after a breakup, and it was a big breakup. Of course, you're just sitting there wallowing in self pity, and I got drunk I got drunk as a fucking skunk, and I listened to it.
Drunk as a fucking skunk.
Yes, and I listened to his hands matched his tongue, and once it got to the part where it's like one day she'll be gone, I just fucking wailed. It came pouring forth like so many waterfalls. And the thing is, that song, it doesn't even have the message that I was connecting to it. It's not even a breakup song about like a girl leaving you, but it just, for some reason at the time that I was in, I heard the one day she'll be gone. I was like, she will.
Yeah, man, I did a really similar thing with Black Sandy Beaches. You know, the let's just say she's better off somehow.
Oh, that's a hard hitting one too. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that one got to me.
Migrant was my sad boy album. I didn't listen to Act 2 during like, because I hate saying this. I've never really been broken up with. I did a lot of the breaking up. There's been times where a fling would like end mutually, but like usually for the most part I did the breaking up. I still kind of felt bad about it afterwards, which I guess is a normal thing. But like, I remember I was listening to Migrant straight through, and I was just like depressed. I wasn't even sad. When I listen to music, I think I told you guys this, I don't really listen to lyrics. I listen to like the melodies and the instrumentation and shit. But like, I remember listening to that album, and then it was just like in a shadow for like a good week or two. It was like nothing was shaking me from that. And I just remember hearing The Love, and I was like, oh God. We gotta circle back to the Love being like Welcome to the Black Parade thing, because I don't feel like we rested that yet. It is objectively a case closed and read.
I don't think so. I think just because they're two themes that a person who is sad and there's like a tinge of optimism in there, I don't think it's the same type of emotional experience, even if it is describing something resembling the same feeling or
I'm scared. Theme. I just got an email from Spotify as we're talking about this, how they're going to make playlists for every single mood that no matter what you go through. And I'm like, oh my God, are they listening to me?
They're definitely listening. It's
my Google Home is unplugged. It's not even in this office.
It's definitely still listening. It's listening to the walls.
They know.
But anyway, like I get what you're saying about how it's like an emo-ish anthem in the sense that like people who were in that kind of scene at the time, or kind of they describe themselves as something that would connect to that, how it really kind of connected with them, and how they could really kind of pour their soul into it and kind of put themselves onto it. But I think they're two totally different themes, even if they do kind of have an optimistic angle at the end. Like the theme of The Love is almost self-condescending. The
reason why I mentioned the theme is because you're the one who tried to tell the difference between the theme. I'm saying musically. Like, all right, let me give you an example, right? I was at a Starbucks in a mall filled with very normal people. Welcome to the Black Parade came on, that G note hit, and everyone in that Starbucks started singing along. Everyone in there. It was the most bizarre experience I think I've ever fucking had in a Starbucks.
But you also have to consider that with that song is also a fair amount of just nostalgia. Like, not even having connected to the source material, but it was such a huge song that there's a nostalgia of people who were at the right age around that time, whereas The Love doesn't carry that.
And I was at another time I was at a party with a bunch of people. About half of those people I knew. The Love came on, everyone started singing along. Very
that is nonsense. That did not happen.
Very true. Granted, they were all prop heads. Still,
at a party.
It was like my version of parties is a party. My version of parties.
That's a sad party.
I'm trying to visualize this party. Everyone just standing there, just singing along to the love. Just
when I go to parties, they're not like parties. They're like hangouts, I guess. And we were kind of chilling. And I have my music on shuffle, and then the love came on, and people just started singing along. Because like my playlist is like very, very varied. And
very varied.
And when the love came on, everyone there was just kind of like they're belting it out. Granted, it started fading away after like a minute, but you know, it happens.
I feel like this party was just you with a bunch of cardboard cutouts.
Listen, Danny DeVito's, okay?
I think you had a psychotic break, and the love just really got to you, and it turned into the story of everyone started belting the love.
I was imagining.
And much like she and his hands matched his tongue, Danny DeVito's cardboard cutout will be gone. Someday.
Yeah, I was imagining something more along the lines of just a load of teenagers listening to like house music, and then suddenly you hear piano chords, and everyone goes into heartfelt mode.
Dude, when I make like party playlists, I usually ask them like, what kind of genres do you want me to throw together? And they're like, oh, pop and rock. I'm like, okay. So I throw in like New Era, Bring Me the Horizon, like New Era Asking. I put in some Bear Ghost in there, some Billie Eilish to makes their way into the playlist, and then just a bunch of like more rock ballads. And I guess somehow the Migrations Annex made its way in there because almost every song on the Migrations Annex isn't sad. But you know, then you got the Love and Owls.
I don't see the love as a sad song. I think it's I mean, if you only listen like the first two verses, it's a very sad song. But like by the end of it, it almost like it cancels out the first two verses. It almost says like what you were feeling those first two verses. Not that it wasn't real, but that like it was a caught in the moment bit of sensation.
It's a song about hope.
So is this Hunter? Is this like your equivalent of Rue saying that Misleading was only interested in Hunter for the quick buck?
I don't think it's quite that contentious.
I think that's that.
I think I'm literally interpreting the lyrics.
Hunter, Rue, it's okay for you two to be wrong. Okay, you are wrong, but it's okay to be that way. We're all wrong sometimes, and I'm not wrong in this situation, but it happens sometimes.
I think the only similarity you could even draw between the Love and Welcome to Black Parade, beyond your little cutout cardboard party, is that they both kind of start with that solemn singular piano vocal thing. Like that seems like the only similarity, not only in theme but in sound and in like general just listenability.
Yeah, and Hunter was a quick fuck for Misleading. So is that the route we're taking with bad takes?
They're not even in the realm of the same kind of bad take, though.
Mine's not even a bad take.
It's just wrong.
No, it's
dude, I was missing that podcast. You admitted it was wrong by the end. You're like, I see the errors in my logic, but I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what Rue has to get out of that story, then that's I think the story is supposed to be interpreted. I don't know if Casey's ever wanted it to be like a literal interpretation of this is exactly what happened in the story.
All right, no. That's where I call bullshit. Because if Casey didn't want that, then he wouldn't acknowledge correct versus incorrect interpretations of songs.
Well, I mean, I think obviously there is a concrete story, but as far as like the way that, because I think that like we talked about in the Act 2 episode where Hunter is a flawed narrator. So, like, the information he's giving isn't even necessarily accurate to the situation.
I think he's an unreliable narrator. There's a difference.
Well, okay, he's an unreliable narrator. Whatever. I'm just saying that his interpretations of events aren't necessarily what's actually happening. So I think the way you interpret the story kind of changes the way the story plays out.
I think you're wrong.
Yeah, I definitely kind of maybe had more of a like as if Hunter was like an incel, you know?
Jesus,
that was my kind of mindset.
That is like another step from where you already like jumped off the cliff.
I am so glad.
Yeah, you know, like misleading the poor. Sleeps with anyone in the whole,
Rue jumped off a cliff with his initial take, and then with this one, he just threw away the parachute. Just like he can't even save himself now.
Mm-hmm.
So Hunter's an incel, misleading is a pedophile. So where are we going next with these takes?
Can we not say Hunter's an incel anywhere where it's going to be publicly available? I feel like that's. I don't want that soundbite getting out. Someone's gonna splice this and make it a conversation about me being an incel.
Oh my god! Can you imagine the smell? Oh. So anyway, Hunter is an incel, and misleading is a pedophile. And Hunter Workman is the king of bad takes.
Whatever. It's not even, your take was so bad that anything that's halfway reasonable just seems like absurdity.
It's okay. You don't understand it yet. Give it a few years.
Yeah, whatever.
But let it sink in. Let it digest. But anyway, this was a short of the Dear Apparition podcast. We decided to do impromptu. So I feel platonically about all of you, and I hope you have a fantastic or terrible rest of your day. And please listen to The Black Parade as an album. It's very, very good. Right.
And then as you're listening to it, realize just how bad that take was.
Listen, Hunter, I don't like your attitude.